interior. The salon. About 1756.
So you feel it's 1756 the year?
Yes,
What makes you feel that specifically?
because we are visiting the era, the lifetime of Catherine the Great.
All right. So we're the Catherine the Great life. So from what perspective are you viewing this life specifically?
First person,
Are you specifically in Catherine's body now?
yes.
Can you describe that body for me? And let's go ahead and start with your feet.
My shoes hurt. They're too tight.
Like binded to like make your feet smaller?
Well, it is the mode, it's the style. Yeah, but let's see, I'm looking at them. They are laced, but it's very hard leather, dark in color. I can't tell if it's dark brown or black yet. Slight heel, but they're just too tight.
Understood.
Um,
You said it was 17, what again?
56, I think is what I said.
1756. Would you describe these shoes as like your average kind of leather, kind of laced up thing? Would it be with a heel, with a boot, a half boot?
I think it is half boot. It is, it's not a riding boot.
About ankle height, would you say?
Above, just above,
Just barely.
just above.
That's also what I'm seeing. All right, let's go ahead and move up your legs and just describe that for me.
Well, I have lots of skirts. This is very elaborate. It's day type dress, but it is very elaborate. Lots of skirts. It's very cold. So you wear lots of skirts against the cold. But the outer skirt is it's really elaborate.
Would you say there's like embroidery on it? Does
Yeah.
it have embellishments? Can you describe those embellishments?
Yes, yes. Let's see. A lot of embroidery and the embroidery is meant to look like jewels. This isn't a jewel gown, it's daytime. You would wear a gown with jewels at night. It is base color, sort of a white, well, cream, silk. There are, yes, some gold and silver.
The embellishments?
The with all the underskirts, the effect of the outer decorative skirt, it's rather wide. And
Does it have like a frame almost to make it look so wide, or is it just the layers make it?
It's just layers. It's really layers. Yeah, yeah. This doesn't feel boned or framed, but what is also tight is the waist.
Would this be almost like a corset? Yeah, I was going to ask, is corseted? Okay. How does that corset look?
It is laced up the back, so an attendant is the one who tightens it. There are bones in the front.
What kind of bones?
Let's see what kind of bones. Real bone, but
What I want you to do is I want you to touch the bone, and the moment you touch it, you're going to have the memory download directly what kind of bones they are.
Well,
Well bones, why well?
because it is the fashion, it is a mark of wealth, of privilege. It's it is the best material. Always attention to detail in this era, this sort of detail.
Are these bones completely stock, or are they carved in any way, or are they just laid out in a artistic fashion?
Well, the bones fit into the corset to create stability and compression, and to shape the bust.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really just it's a compression device.
Understood. So let's go ahead and move up to the chest area. And as you're describing the chest, I want you to also extend your arms out and just kind of describe your arms to me.
Okay, I'm just looking at the length of the sleeves.
How long are those sleeves?
They come down just below the elbow. I'm not wearing gloves right now, but I would be. It's the length is meant to accommodate wearing of gloves.
Are you wearing any kind of jewelry on your hands at all?
No rings, bracelets, gemstones, diamonds, platinum. Let's see, both wrists? No, just right wrist.
What would be the formality when you would actually wear gloves?
Receiving guests, a luncheon, or a meeting with advisors. So this is more casual.
Are these guests and advisors allowed to physically touch your hands, or is this basically like a formal barrier or an energetic barrier that would prevent non-elites from touching you physically?
Only anyone I invite to touch me is allowed.
Understood. So what's happening today? Where are you actually located?
I am actually wandering for my own enjoyment, looking at the artwork, and there's a lot of it. A lot of great European paintings, sculpture, beautiful vases.
As you're walking, what makes today so special for you to be looking into these pieces of art that's within your own home?
A brief moment of freedom from duty. So this is my time.
Do you not get a lot of time and a lot of freedom to just be yourself amongst yourself? Or is it all just formalities?
It is almost exclusively formality, and very rare time is free. It is freer in the evening when the day is done, meetings concluded, meals taken, entertainment concluded. That's when I can spend time with friends, with lovers, with people with whom, that please me with their company.
How do you feel now in that body?
33.
What about 33? When did you become the queen?
Younger, I can't fix the age. But I was imported from Germany for the purpose of marrying the nephew of the then Empress. And so this was the destiny to be an Empress. But the emperor who succeeded the Empress was an idiot.
Why was he needed?
He, not terribly intelligent, spoiled, self-involved, not terribly interested in the welfare of Russia. He was also German in his upbringing, and so he was always thinking too much about Europe and Germany and not terribly interested in his people in Russia and their welfare and developing the nation into the powerful nation it could be.
So where's the king at?
Let's see, I'm trying to see if he is around.
I just want you to activate your knowing,
Yeah,
know if he's around or not.
no,
No? Is he off on duty doing some delegation? What's the reason why he's not there now?
he is off doing, he's more interested in parading the soldiers that he has surrounding him. He fancies himself as a military leader. He never served a day in his life in the military. All he knows is just drills, training, and it satisfies him.
So this was a position of power placement versus like a meritocratic earning of this position.
That's right. It's he was the Empress who preceded. She didn't have any offspring of her own, so she imported her nephew to succeed.
How do you feel about that?
That's the way it's done. That's the way these things are done.
So as long as you're marrying within the bloodline, that's typically how it's arranged.
That's how it's arranged.
Was this marriage between you and the king, was this out of love or it's only through an
No,
arrangement of
absolute
marriages?
arrangement from childhood.
So you would say, was there a deep connection to the king or was there more of a disconnection and it's only formalities?
I think when we had met in childhood, as these things are, these circles that you run in, it didn't know him as a child, and it was a more of a fun childhood relationship. But as we matured, I matured, he didn't.
So today something important is going on. What's going on generally in your life as queen at that time? Are there any wars going on, or is there any big thing that's impacting you and your thoughts?
I am not as involved in national affairs as I will be. And so it is more social.
Mhm. Would you say that the king has most of the power?
Yes,
So are you saying that the role you have, it's more again more for formal kind of stuff?
formal, but advisory. So I've always felt that I was going to become Empress in my own right. So always pay attention to the affairs of state.
Mhm.
And when the opportunity arises, and it does arise, is give counsel.
Mhm. Who gives you counsel?
Well, lovers,
How many lovers did you take on, or do you have at least in that moment?
one at a time.
Is this a typical thing queens and kings do? They have kind of like these side lovers, and then the relationship, the arrangement's more, again, the word formality, I hate using the same word over again. It's more just an arrangement.
It is an arrangement.
So, like, true love isn't really something that's existing at these higher levels. It's more of
It
a
is a
position of placement, if anything.
It is a business decision. It is a political decision. That is how matches are made at that level.
The person that gives you the most advice, is this person on a royal court, or would you say again they're just a lover?
This person has prominence in the military. I can't think of, I'm looking for a name, but it's Russian. I can't think.
Can you see him now?
He's very handsome.
I want you to look him directly in the eyes and remember that the eyes are to the window of the soul. You'll be able to instantly download this information and recognize him on the soul level. Do you recognize him from other lifetimes?
Yes,
Who is he?
searching.
And just remember, as you gaze into his eyes, whatever information you would like to find, it'll start downloading directly through his eyes, transferring from his light body to your light body.
Okay. I don't feel that it was this planet. But this is not a law, this is not, this is a, I will have many lovers.
Mhm.
This is really just the first prominent one.
Mhm.
The word Orion pops into my mind. What that has to do with it, just, that's what I got.
As you stare in his eyes, I want you to ask him, does he remember a life in Orion?
Yes.
Ask him to describe what that lifetime was.
Immediately I hear warrior.
Mhm.
high ranking.
As you search into his eyes, do you see this singular life being connected to him from this Orion one and the current Catherine the Great, or do you see more lifetimes as well? If you were to look.
I don't see other lifetimes.
So something happened within the Orion one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have you ask him to transfer his memories of what happened into Orion directly into you now, so you fully understand the context of what's happened.
He was a protector of me in Orion.
Who were you in Orion?
That's a very good question, and let's see. Female, high ranking. What function?
I want you to see yourself in that role now.
Yeah. It feels more ambassadorial than it does, say, royalty. I don't know if royalty exists there, but it feels like an ambassadorial role. And it's kind of dangerous, so protector is
It's
required.
dangerous to be an ambassador?
Yes.
Why is it so dangerous?
The function of the ambassador to negotiate treaties, to negotiate with other systems, comes with inherent danger.
Understood. So far you're seeing that you played very high roles and you've been surrounded by other high role people. And this is what seems like this is what your energy signature is. It sounds like that you play these important roles in these different lifetimes, no matter what the system is, and it's a reoccurring trait within you.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, so let's now focus back on you being in your mansion or your castle. Describe where you're actually living at that time when you're gazing at this art, you're checking everything out. Where are you physically located at?
Well, the apartments are not, I'm not seeing them as being within the structure of the Winter Palace. They're sort of side structure. Really, life, that kind of part of the life, the living quarters are apartments, and they're sort of connected. So my apartment would be separate to the emperor's apartment. You could walk a hallway from one to the other.
So you don't sleep with the emperor?
No.
So that's completely sectioned off and that's separated.
Complete separate lives that way.
Understood. And that's how it's always been?
How else are you going to conduct affairs if you are sleeping with the emperor? And he has his. So
understood.
That's how that works.
All right, I want you to now close that scene, and I'd like for you to now see yourself eating a meal that you've had prepared for yourself. What do you see?
Well, it's a large table, way too much food for anyone, and way overboard. But I'm seeing pheasant. I am seeing, it's not ham. I see lots of fruit piled up as ornaments, all in sterling silver service, a long table, way too much food for just a few people. This is not a table setting for a banquet. This is just
Like a
being
buffet almost.
overboard opulent for the emperor and the empress.
Understood. So how does that food taste to you? What are you choosing to eat? You're saying you're actually eating the pheasant and the ham?
That's what I saw, but my preference is not for that ham, no.
What's your favorite thing to eat?
Well, I think I would taste the pheasant, and there's fish. So lighter fare, not heavy, not. Yes, I grew up in Germany. Food was heavier there then, but this is preferable, lighter fare. Fowl fish, fruits. What am I seeing in food? Pears. Ooh, the pears.
You love the pears?
The pears.
So you say that the pears is one of your favorite things to eat?
Yes.
What makes it so special about the pears?
Because it is the texture, the bite of it. There's softness, sweetness, juiciness, a wonderfully delicate flavor. This isn't a thick skin pear. This is one of those thin skin pears. Just delicious, sweet. Almost dribbles down your chin.
How many servants would you say you have regarding the food? Like how many people are working for the cooking side, the servant side of the food service? Because I'm assuming you're on a very large property and it has
This is a very large property, and that is really not my concern, is staffing numbers. But if I were to make an assumption, the kitchen staff is at least 20 people. And I see in this room where the food is 8 attendants. So these are people who would, lift a plate, step forward, make sure that everything is as it should be. Some are there just because you just want a lot of people, or you want the appearance of it. It's a huge staff, it really is. And never mind the staff that works in the Winter Palace and the apartments themselves. I mean, for my own self, I have maids of honor. These are mostly friends, but their duty is to make sure that the needs are met.
When you say the Winter Palace, is this a
This is a place, yes.
Yes, is this a place you only go during the winter, or is it literally called the Winter Palace?
It's called the Winter Palace.
So this is where you stay throughout the year?
No, we move about from residence to residence.
So you're saying you move between different palaces?
Yes.
Depending on the time of the year, or depending on what?
Depending on
what's being done? lawfully or treaty or agreement wise or
That's right.
formality wise.
So it's not as strict as you spend spring here, summer there. Yes, there is the tendency to be here in a season, there in that other season. But if there's a political need, all these palaces are available. If you have to travel to Moscow, if you have to travel to St. Petersburg, if you have to travel elsewhere in Russia, all of these palaces, that's what they're for.
Is there a specific palace you consider more home?
I think I landed in the Winter Palace because I enjoy it more than other places. I enjoy the art. There are opportunities to hear music. It is a more pleasing place.
What makes that palace stand out amongst all the other palaces? Is it the location because it's built differently? Is the environment different? Is the people different? Or just the vibe? You just prefer the Winter Palace because of the surroundings?
Well, I think that it is enjoyable for the social aspect, the people who are there.
Mm-hmm.
The palace itself, I would say, is the architecture is a little bit over the top even for my taste, but it is really the art.
How old is that palace?
Not that old. Not that old. It was, these things are built on top of older things, on top of older things. But in this iteration, there are new aspects to it, but it's done a little over the top. But I enjoy it most, like I say, because of the social aspect, the music, the art.
What city is the Winter Palace located in?
St. Petersburg.
All right, let's go ahead and leave that scene and let's move forward to another important day in that lifetime. This is a day that you consider to be important when something is happening. Be there now.
All right.
All right, where are you?
Southern Russia.
What's going on today?
General Potemkin he at this time is my greatest advisor, military advisor. He is showing the accomplishments in the development of this part of Russia that he undertook. It was his job, and he did a pretty good job.
What was his job specifically?
City planning, civic planning, architectural choices. Basically developing what was a very primitive part of the country into a more civilized, urban type developed environment.
What made him your greatest advisor?
Oh, he was clever.
Hmm.
He's very smart, very clever, and knew how to ingratiate himself.
Also,
He was very amusing, very clever, and did become a lover.
So what's the greatest thing that he achieved for you, being a general?
In my eyes, it is what he's showing me now.
Because that's a pretty big deal to do what he did, to bring a modern kind of civilization to a rural, non-technological,
Mhm.
because that would be bringing streets and infrastructure and all that other stuff to there too as well. So that's a pretty big undertaking.
It is.
As for him being your military advisor, were there any wars that you guys were involved with where he had to give you that military advice to help you win something?
Um, there were lots of, let's see, I think what comes to mind is military engagement with Turkey.
What happened with that?
It was over land. Looking into it, I do feel, I don't see details of engagement, but I do feel in the end we did well.
I want you to go ahead and look into his eyes. Remember that the eyes are the window to the soul. Do you recognize this soul from another lifetime as you gaze into his eyes?
I do.
Who is he?
This is very ancient earth. I'm not sure I have a name for it, but it feels Mesopotamia. Assyrian.
Hmm. Did you guys have a life together in Assyria?
Yes.
I want you to now look into that life and allow the images and experiences to now download into yourself and allow the memories to come. Some of the first memories that are coming.
I feel that we were together, man and woman. What it feels like is struggling to climb politically, socially, and trying to see if there's a current position I can identify. And I would say that it is not at the most elite level, but climbing. Trying to anyway. Plotting, maneuvering in trying to gain power, influence, working together.
Climbing, plotting, maneuvering for influence. Do you and him come from some kind of bloodline of elite? Is that why you're trying to rise within the ranks? Because normally, usually the highest ranks, they're within bloodline positions, so it's hard to climb something if you're not within the group itself.
Yes, and so this feels the word tangential comes up, but that's not exactly right. It is, more, yes, the bloodline, but more bastard blood. So not direct line blood, but
But still connected to a bloodline. That's
still
important.
connected to a bloodline.
Yeah. So what age are you there now?
It feels late 20s, each of us, 28-ish.
And that's when you're in Assyria?
Yes.
What happens with that Assyrian lifetime?
Well, it does not end well for us. We are dispatched. I think we become not useful for those who are in true power, and maybe even seen for the maneuvering, the power grabbing, and
So they saw that you were trying to go for that power grab.
dispatched.
That's typically considered treason, correct?
Well,
Within the realm of not having that true bloodline and being a bastard of something, that's pretty concerning from their point of view.
yeah, that's right. So this, somebody like,
Because again, like a bastard would not have that right if there's a real blood son or daughter
That's
that
right.
can literally pass that offspring. So you're operating outside of
you become dangerous.
Yes.
You become dangerous to those who are actually in power.
And what
And
happened
really,
to you guys there?
so the only path to power is to,
Take power.
take it. So we were beheaded, both of us.
Was this publicly?
I see court present, the court. Not really, not like out in, if you mean by out in a public square, no.
So this isn't something they had to do to show the public this is what happens when
No,
people
this
commit
is
this kind of
just-
seditious act.
Yes, this is just, gotta get rid of these.
So this is just another day in court to them, pretty much.
Yep, get rid of the interlopers.
Yeah, and you guys don't really matter and you're irrelevant, pretty much.
That's right.
Understood. All right, let's go back to when you were back in Russia and you were with your general, your advisor, before the lifetime of the Assyrian life. We're back to the Catherine life. You're with the general. He was showing you all these developments that he did. What happens next?
He's not well.
How old is he in this moment?
40s, 50s, What is wrong with him? He's not well. He doesn't look well.
I want you to connect with him energetically, and I want his energy to tell you what is afflicting him.
It just feels like his body is boiling from the inside out.
So there's an infection of some kind?
There must be.
So he probably has a fever?
Probably has a fever. And I can feel the digestive issues. The digestive issues are gone. His color is off. I see bloating in extremities.
So yeah,
and
that's
he's
probably
doing everything he can to mask it. But it's obvious.
What happens after that?
Oh, he dies. He does pass. He does pass. I'm not there.
Hmm. Was he at another location when he went to die?
I don't think he was. Yeah, let's see. I think he was still in that. This doesn't feel 100% sure, but I don't feel he was any place other than in that southern area of Russia.
Mhm. What are your feelings of him passing away?
Oh, it's awful.
What
It's,
did it do to you emotionally?
uh,
Because I'm
I,
assuming he was one of your closest lovers at that
he
time.
was, well, yes, I think at that time we weren't, we maybe moved past that. But that connection had been so strong that it was just a terrible loss.
Yeah, because it's hard to replace somebody like that because you can't actually replace any individual person like that. It almost feels like you might feel a little bit alone in that moment.
Oh, yeah.
Even though you're surrounded by everyone and people adore you, it's just you might just be emotionally disconnected.
Well, it is being so lonely amongst so many people because the people surrounding me aren't close personally. So it is a sense of abandonment. It's a sense of loneliness. It's also an unwanted view into my own potential mortality,
Mm.
an unwanted glimpse.
What did you want to achieve being the queen at that time? What was your
It
main purpose of that life?
as the initial impulse after becoming sole empress was truly to make the lives of the people better in any way I could. As time passed, and it feels like a familiar theme as time passes, what you come to realize in this sort of position is that maintaining hold on power starts to become more and more important. And while it is that the welfare of the country is prominent and so important, somehow seeing not letting power pass to others, because how could I let go of power if I haven't done everything I want?
Mm.
So freedoms that initially was able to give to the people, liberties would, the screws tighten over time because you see that there is danger in that kind of freedom of the people because they can rise. And then what would it have all been for?
So, was there a part of you that wanted the people to have that freedom? But
Yes.
then there was that part where you realized there was a danger involved in that.
There's an inherent danger in it. It's double-edged, isn't it?
Mhm. So what's one of the biggest things you remember doing for the people up to this age that you're at now?
What was able to achieve early on was to give them more personal say in their lives, to be able to participate um, in their local existence. I'm not going to go so far as to say voting, but more influence over the disposition of their lives.
Meaning that you try to install mechanisms that would make their life a little bit easier? Because when you make their lives easier, they don't rise as much when they're taken care of.
Uh, Easier, they have more say in how they live their lives. But the discovery over time is when they have more say and perhaps they are dissatisfied, then they can rise up.
And that's something you feared throughout.
That's something I
Empress?
came to fear. And I think that
Is that because things changed over time?
things changed over time.
What made things change? What was the moment you remember where things really started to change? Was it war with another country? Was it changing of the guard?
I think when you start to have more say over your own life and you start to observe what's going on around you and military actions and not seeing the sense in any of it and seeing members of your family, members of your community going off to do military service, to engage in battle, to not come home. And you're starting to feel like you have more say in your life. It's only natural to see the inequity to this. You are given some say, some leeway in your life, but there still are the constraints and the obligations that are insurmountable, that you can't get around, that are out of your control.
So again, it's the scenario of the double-edged sword.
Yep, that's it. And so the thing that happens and the thing that had to happen was to start tightening the screws again.
Like tightening the control down?
The control.
What mechanisms were put into place to start tightening that rein down? And who did those orders come from?
The overarching plan, thought for it, idea for it, did come from me seeing what the peril was. And it's that sort of thing is delegated to the military to make sure that there aren't uprisings in villages and all of that. So the impetus originates with me. It is delegated to military. It is carried out.
Around that time, were people starting to rise up because of those inequities?
They were.
Was there a policing structure that went a little bit out of control that kind of usurped these people's rights or natural occurring God-given rights you would have? They were taken away, and that's why they went to rise?
It's complicated because when there is more of a free market, if you will, for lack of a better descriptor, what happens is, there are people who take advantage. There's corruption that arises. So, there's not a single causal vector for any of this. It is the environment that makes it possible for people to, or makes it, creates the potential for dissatisfaction and unrest. And there's dissatisfied with people being sent off in the military. They're dissatisfied with the local corruption. They're dissatisfied with, the have and the have not dynamic that they either see, because most of them don't see all the wealth, all the luxury, but they hear about it. And so,
Yeah, because I'm
It's almost
assuming
like
regular people, the peasants, what you would consider, they're not allowed even around the perimeter or the areas of these elite structures and stuff like
That's-
that because it is protected and militarized.
that's it. But, they come to awareness of it. Not the reality, but mind you, what they think they know isn't necessarily the reality. Doesn't make it better or worse, but all they know is what they are told, what they hear, what is told around their village.
Was there a part of you that wanted the people to have that freedom and have the things you had, or was it part of your own programming? Do you see yourself separate from these people at all times? So you rejected their points of views.
All of that is true. Those are not contradictory statements. Absolutely did not see myself as equal to them. At the same time, wished for them a certain amount of liberty so that they could, because I either innately knew or witnessed, how could their lives be anything but just absolutely miserable? And wished for better for them just out of humanity.
Did you never want to change any laws to make their lives a little bit better?
I did and tried.
What happened?
There were held councils, drafted thought papers. I don't have a better way of explaining than that.
That's a good term.
Idea memos, really had convened people who did have power, tried to pull people from different parts to convene to
Almost like an
a
elite
council
think
type.
tank.
Yeah, think tank. And it was naive to think that that would work. It was moderately successful, I think, in theory and somewhat in practice, but the idea was better than the result.
Do you feel it did not work because, again, it was housed with nothing but elite people and there was no one representing the actual people? Because how can an elite group understand truly what it's like to suffer
Yeah.
and to have to constantly worry about food sources and affording just to live,
Yeah.
you know?
This group that convened was not exclusively elite. There were, I won't say the peasant class, but
Like local delegates from
yes,
areas.
yes.
Okay.
It really, that was part of the idea, was to try to get representation for the more common men. But if you bring somebody who just works the field, they're not going to have an informed view. You have to get somebody who has a little bit more of a broader experience, but if the idea was to try
Mhm.
to bring in and represent as many people as possible.
Why did that idea fail? Was there too much local corruption? Was it rules not being enforced?
I think that the thought was, bringing all these minds together, there could be consensus, but there were too many um, uh, too
many
many
chefs in the
local,
kitchen?
too many chefs, too many local concerns, local desires that conflicted with others. So it was just difficult to
Mm.
achieve any workable consensus. People could talk all they want, lofty terms about how this is such a wonderful, everybody sucked up to me, how this is such a wonderful, grand idea. But when it comes down to it, in the room, when you have that many conflicting interests, it's impossible to achieve consensus. So you end up with a watered down, working version of what was a grand, noble idea.
Mm. What did you learn from situations like that that made you a better leader?
A better leader. Well, I would say what I learned was that I had to be consolidate power more. That's not, doesn't make me proud, but to make the country run and not dissolve into chaos, consolidation of power had to occur.
You mean putting the hammer down,
Putting the
making the
hammer
rules
down.
a little bit more strict?
Yes,
Mm.
tightening, like I said before, tightening the screws again. It never was as repressive. It never was as repressive as before my original idea, but it never was, I was never able to achieve the kind of nation of ideas. Because this was the time of the great European philosophers and all of that. And,
So yeah, we're just getting out of the dark ages and we're getting into like the most important minds that are
yes.
bringing all the new evolution and technologies all around the planet.
And so, these are times of great social experiment.
So what would you say would be one of your top regrets with everything you've learned so far and how you led that role? Other than learning to consolidate that power, to tighten that control down, to get to control the narrative at that point. What else did you learn?
I wouldn't say regret. What I would use the word disappointment.
Mm. in
I'm
yourself
disappointed, no.
following through?
No, because I still really at my core felt that my original idea was right, just, correct for the people.
It's just it wasn't
disappointed-
executed the correct way.
Disappointed that the reality was given and perhaps being naive to just how different parts of the country had different needs. Maybe it was a lack of imagination not to see that this was a nation of so many different types of people with so many different types of needs, that the grand idea of a one size fits all social experiment, sorry to use that term again,
It's a good term.
it wasn't going to work, and that was a disappointment, a great disappointment.
What would you do different next time?
To make it succeed, I would have had to learn more. I mean, I was well read, well schooled, well versed in politics, the politics of the nation, but to understand the bottom up, not looking at it from top down.
You never truly saw it from the people's perspective because you
Never,
never learned what
only-
it was like to live from their perspective.
That's right. Never lived that way. And
You have to walk in another's shoes to understand what their life is like. And if you walk around in opulence and custom leather shoes and people who tie your shoes for you, how can you truly know what true life is about?
absolutely.
Because when everybody's sucking up to you and tying your corset, you never really evolve as a soul because everyone does everything for you. So it kind of limits you in a way and holds you back from your true power.
And so if there is a lesson in that life, it is a lesson, in that time, in that era, there was royalty. That's how it worked. So I don't judge that, but what would have been beneficial to society is to understand all of the people. And after all, the Empress is the Matushka. She is the little mother. She's the little mother of the country. And she should know all her people. I don't know how, but she should.
That's a big thing to understand and to learn after you've made a lot of mistakes, even though that you thought it was going to go a certain way, but just the amount of lessons you learned about trusting people to execute plans and how a general vague idea can really be taken out of control unless you literally create every facet of how it should work. Like you should, if it happened to me, I would want to, if I can go back in time and change it or do it better next time, I would want to put everything on paper of how it's all going to interact and try those ideas on a local scale and then literally expand it out and see how it works regionally, state-wise, country-wise. It's like you said, all the peoples are all different people, so there is not a one size fits all of how you should roll people because the backgrounds are completely different. People came from other countries with other customs and cultures and the way they operate just their life.
Yes, different different weather systems, different topography, different you're talking Siberia, you're talking swamps, you're talking all sorts of different kinds of climate. So naturally, it's not a simple fit, one size. fits all. Absolutely not. So very interesting lesson.
Seems like you did learn a lot from that lifetime, though.
Oh, yeah.
Lots of tribulations to go through, lots of loss, lots of non-connecting structures where it's just completely segregated from everything else. And I think that's how a system eats itself, because it's so disconnected from everything else around it. It's kind of like a snake that lives in a tree that's never lived on the ground before, and it has no idea how the ground works or the beings that are on the ground, and you've only had that experience from Mount Tartarus. You know what I'm saying?
Very
From
much
the
so.
God's view. All right, I want you to now close that scene, and I want you to advance to the last day of your life in that lifetime and tell me where you are.
I am in my apartments. I am having a stroke.
How old do you feel there?
My 50s. I don't have I think it's 50s.
No worries.
Well, but yes, I can feel myself. I've fallen to the floor. I can see that I am, oh, yes, I am cyanotic, I'm blue.
Did the fall hurt you, or was there
No, it was the stroke. It was a stroke, and I lost which right side, leg collapsed, fell to the floor. A powerful stroke, and I'm on the floor, and I'm found, but I am turning blue. Didn't take long. I'm not put on a bed. I'm put on like a mattress on the floor. And I pass.
pretty fast? So this wasn't drawn out over a week?
Hours or days, just hours or days. Not terribly long. Yes, stroke.
How do you feel going out with a stroke in the end? Such a young age. Even though the age of the 50s and 60s, I was considered very old. To live to that old, you're old as hell.
You know, I don't have a strong feeling about the life of Catherine at this point. I am not consumed with thoughts of her life. I'm just in the state of a stroke and in the state of a human dying.
What are your final thoughts in the end?
They aren't formed thoughts.
Because the stroke really messed up how your thought process works.
It was a pretty profound, it was a profound stroke. It did affect cognition.
Was it akin to like developing spontaneous Alzheimer's, where it became mechanical in nature, it affected your body and your mind and everything else?
Yeah, because I honestly, I know I was dragged to a mattress, but I'm not even sure who did it. And I'm not interacting with these people. I mean, a stroke victim is not interacting, but I'm not even seeking attention from them. I'm just within myself in a dying state. And not really having formed thoughts, just leaving.
So now that whatever has happened, and you're now on the other side of it, From that position, you can now look back at your entire life and see it from a different perspective now. Every life has a lesson and a purpose. As you now look at your life, what did you learn from it?
That the kind of power that a person like that in that sort of position I never took it lightly, but am seeing just how vast the responsibility really is. And how perhaps a less philosophical approach, combining philosophy with more pragmatic, grounded, informed information is a better way to fulfill that role.
Were you not taught a lot of philosophy at a young age and military doctrine as part of that position?
No, in fact, I was in deep correspondence with philosophers in Europe, and so no, highly, extremely well read in philosophy. French was the lingua franca for most, in all the courts, French was spoken, corresponded in French with French philosophers. So maybe more in the head and in the heart somewhat, but not with real solid feet on the ground and a grounded experience in the more tangible aspects of the life of the people of the country. It would have been more successful.
So would you say you would have, if you could do it over again, you would have wanted to live a less formal life and be more boots on the ground and see what it was like to live life with the people and to see what it's really like with all these?
I would have definitely devoted more time to learning more about that. I'm not sure, honestly, that I would have lived their lives the way they lived it. Probably a little too spoiled, pampered for that. But I do think that I could easily have spent more time learning more about them.
Mm. So now what we know what you learned from this life, what do you feel that the purpose of that lifetime was?
To see, because many lives have been in this kind of a role, royalty, elite, powerful, to see it from a different perspective, to see the contrast of, because this was age of enlightenment, that great philosophers lived in this time, to be able to create more of a marriage, a merger of great philosophy and grounded reality to create a better, more equitable, fairer society.
Mm.
didn't quite get it right this time, but I know I see where it went wrong.
So in the end, why do you feel that they called you Catherine the Great?
It was mostly because of the efforts of trying to achieve these goals. Preceding Catherine the Great, there was the Empress, the mother of the emperor, my marriage partner. Her father was Peter the Great. So that is an honorific. But I think it was because of the grand nature of the attempt to refashion society. That title was given by the people of that Congress. They thought, oh, this is great, Catherine the Great, you are. Yeah, so it was part suck up, but part passing along the honorific.
Was that title bestowed upon you after death?
No.
Or it was when you were living?
It was living, and it was at the time that this Congress was formed to make this better society. And it stuck.
All right. I want you to go ahead and now take your last breath out of that body and just see yourself transition out of the body. Just feel yourself transitioning and tell me what happens next. What are you experiencing?
I'm trying to make sense of what I'm seeing. I don't have context for it because I'm well out of the body.
Just put it in as whatever words you can.
Okay, yeah. I just have vision in front of me of shapes.
Are you near your body? Have you left?
Oh, I'm well out
Have you
of the
left the
body.
planet yet?
I'm well out of the body. I don't know exactly where I am, if I'm out of the planet or not.
So as you
not.
look down at yourself, what do you see?
I don't even see her anymore.
Yeah, so your body would be gone, right?
Yes.
As you look down, do you see like a light energy as you try to make sense of yourself?
Yeah, it is.
Can you see yourself from from your
It is light. It's light. It's blue. I don't know if this is the right descriptor, but I mean, is it plasma? It's blue light. Blue light.
It's plasma.
And what I see in my vision, these aren't eyes, but the vision in front of me I see, well, is this I thought it was a crucifix. I thought it was a cross, but it's actually a sword.
Is this more like an astral or an etheric sword you're carrying?
Yes.
So this is a non-physical kind of thing. This is a more like a light body weapon to protect yourself, something to signify your rank of a soul or something like that.
Yeah, and now the sword is coming more into view, and I see on the blade etchings. It's not runes, but it is engraved designs sort of, uh, uh,
Do they look like they're kind of alive?
yeah,
Like a sigil almost?
well, yes, you see, they are sigils and they're not straight lines, they're not angular, they're more fluid shapes.
Almost like what you would consider like an ET language or something.
Yeah. And the handle for now is black, but see, this is a changing scene. The handle at present is black. It looks like it is braided. The hilt is rather large, uh, not quite the same black as the handle, more bronze looking. And as I look up towards the blade, it is white, silver, platinum, blue, and the etchings. Yeah. What am I seeing?
I want you to look at these carvings, this engraving, and I want you to energetically know what it means, to remember what it means. As you now connect with this energy, what are these engravings?
Okay, I'm not hesitating for any other reason. I'm just trying to put this to words. Um, it is lineage.
Your soul
This
lineage.
describes my lineage. That's it.
So this is your keys to other worlds. This is your way between the physicalness and the physical of what these matrices would be, and you're carrying your genealogy of your soul's evolution.
I have, and interestingly, I've just engraved. It's like putting a notch on it, if you will. So this past lifetime now goes on.
Yeah, so basically it automatically updates.
Yep.
So it has your achievements, your badges, the things you accomplished in that life.
That's it.
Mm.
So it just updated.
That's pretty awesome. All right, let's go ahead and drift away from that life. We're drifting and floating away from that life, leaving the woman there to continue on her own journey. She will find peace. She will find what she's supposed to find, won't she?
She will. She will.
We're leaving her to continue on her own path. We're moving away from it, moving away from it. Now I want all the consciousness and personality of Kat to once again return to the body and fully integrate back into the body. Hello. May I speak to Kat's subconscious, please?
I am here.
Thank you. Do I have permission to speak to Kat's subconscious?
You do.
Thank you. I respect the power of the subconscious because I know that the subconscious takes care of Kat's body and does a very good job of it. I also know that the subconscious has all the records of everything that has ever happened to Kat in this lifetime and all the other lifetimes she has ever lived. So I respect the power of the subconscious, and I always ask for permission to speak to it and ask questions. Do I have permission to ask questions?
You do.
Thank you. Now, I know you could have brought voluminous different lifetimes for her to see today, but you chose to show her the life of Catherine the Great. Why did you choose that specific lifetime for her to see?
She needs to see this because she needs to see the parallel of her current life, the self-doubts, the programming imposed, the thoughts have great analog from this life to that. the sentiment, the ethics of, the bottom line ethics of wishing for the highest good are consistent among the lifetimes. The diminution of the sense of self-worth is consistent from one lifetime to the other. There is an analog. Catherine the Great felt that she was not truly seen by anybody, truly seen for her intellect, truly seen for her, here it comes, her heartfelt wish for humanity. She never truly felt the recognition. Everything felt perfunctory, surface level. That was the nature of the position she was in. Now, Catherine, this lifetime, felt overlooked for her worth her entire life. Never truly felt valued. And there is a resistant nature within the two lives of not being seen and being truly angry about it.
So that's why you chose this specific life, to remove those positions of power, to make her realize this?
To this life, if there is a function, and it is only one, is to truly see self-worth that comes from finally loving herself first, foremost, not previously not understanding that you can't love fully. You can't love fully unless you love yourself.
Is that one of her biggest lessons in this lifetime?
It is.
How many lifetimes goes back where she lost that love of herself? Was it the Catherine the Great life that started it, or was that another repeat life to help her to rediscover that she felt that?
There were lives before that, but it was not as a remarkable example, as an in your face demonstration of the principle. And in previous lives, you see, the way the human mind worked, love wasn't really necessarily as big a component as it is now, where now it is the most important thing we can do. Human lives up, prior, it was mostly about you're born, you grow up, you work, you have children, you die, you move on. It is an energy that is now able to be anchored like no other time. So it's essential that this Catherine learn this now.
So this lifetime was the teacher, that humility and that removal of those high positions so she can experience what like true love and true loss really is.
Yeah. Because this Catherine grew up, you could say it was a privileged enough upbringing, but it was not that sort of elite status, the periphery. This Catherine knows plenty of people who are in positions of great power, plenty of people who have come through uh, earth programming that puts them in positions of great wealth, great power, corporate, political, but that wasn't going to happen to this Catherine.
Is that why you made it pretty impossible, no matter what degrees and certifications she got, that she would never succeed in those realms? Because that would be achieving more that elitist kind of position you didn't want her to know about?
Yes, all it would have been was repeating old mistakes. It would have, this is the only way to learn that lesson and learn it finally, is to see it more clearly from a lower level.
To be the literal boots on the ground that she didn't do in the elite lifetimes. Like I was telling her earlier, to walk in another man's shoes of what it's like to live from the bottom.
Yes. And to work hard. This one has worked very hard all throughout her life.
How did that help her soul evolution in this lifetime now? Like why this specific lifetime here and now is so important to her evolution out of all the other lifetimes?
Well, the mix of the DNA, putting her in a position to be brought into programs.
When you say being brought into programs, you mean being placed in the SSP?
Yes.
Why did you want her to be in the SSP but remove all the memories of her being in it?
To witness the horror.
Like I'm here to do.
To witness the horror and to bring that back to source in her position on the Council of Elders. She has a direct line. This is like being an embed.
Being a what?
An embed. Embedded.
Understand. So this council you're referring to, is that what Sean Bond saw, this 24 elder kind of deal? Is that the same one you're talking about?
Yes.
Could you elucidate more what this group was, these 24 elders that Sean was referring to?
24 beings sitting in a circle surrounding the throne of God. Each of the 24 sits on their own throne, dressed in white, wearing a crown. This is a council, an advisory council. What I'm seeing because I'm sitting on the throne at the moment, is threads of light from each of us, but I'm looking at my own and how they emanate to the different existences that are part of this entire being, and bringing back intel. So this is information that gets fed to source, because source isn't down here with us. Source, I didn't know this, but we think that source sees is within us and sees all. There's a lot that goes on with with reporting to source. You know, the trying to say this right. The all, and it's not just the elders. Source is infinite, or source has its sources. Haha. And but this is a big role. I said earlier administrative, but this is what I mean. Maintaining, observing, reporting, seeing to, and all this information goes into a greater plan, which is source's plan. Source's plan for creation. So all of this goes into the matrix, the algorithm, if you will, for creation.
So these 24 elders, are these physical light beings, or would they be physical corporeal bodies of different ET lineages?
I don't see how I can get an answer to that question. I'm not going to say it's phrased wrong, but I don't think the question is the right question.
So these 24 elders, how are they physically embodied on this council?
I see them as light beings. I don't see a differentiation amongst them that would tell me that this one is from here and that one is from there. It is a signature, a frequency.
So even though they would look similar, you would recognize each different one by its frequency signature. Kind of like recognizing a soul in another lifetime by their energy versus what they look like.
Yeah, I would say that's a pretty good description.
Does this connect to primordial Greek DNA, the eon stuff she was talking about? This, when she was mentioning the 24 elders, she mentioned that she was a type of time god, a source of time, high level authority.
No, it's all related, but no, this is different to that. Primordial, that is from the beginning of everything. This is, I don't want, how do you say this is a more recent collection of beings, but this is not from the primordial.
Understood. How does the terminologies of time god and being a source of time play into this? The ability to change timelines. This came up in some of her readings from other major remote viewers and psychics.
Yeah, so this moves to a different description. This is describing the primordials, and this being is associated with aeon, which, as I view it, is a more of an elliptical time paradigm. There's nothing linear about this.
Yeah, so it's infinity loop.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even say I see an infinity. I don't see that kind of, it's ribbons, but curved ribbons all over the place.
Kind of like a source producing different timelines from one point.
And yeah, so there's high authority with the time gods. This is an immortal aspect.
Does she have a relationship with Prime Light Source, where it's connected to the archangels, like a Source Club, Prime Light Source?
This is before that. This is beyond that. It's before that.
Yeah, so the angels and all the other stuff from down, it would be preceding all the primordial original. Or kind of like the non-physical, I guess you would call it, like what it's referred to as the matrices and the worlds within worlds.
I mean, the way I see it is this primordial realm, I'm just going to call it that, is
primordial, existing outside of the void, more of a physicality.
It's really sort of iterations of, from the void, then comes, then comes, then comes. And this is a very original emanation.
Is she a root creator? When we were talking, different readings she got from different people shows that she's a creator of some kind.
Yeah, I'm going to say yes. I don't understand the yes, but I'm saying yes because yes.
Where would the creator analogy come from these readings? Can you take it from her mind instead of mine so you understand what I'm trying to ask? Because this is basically one of her questions, and I don't know how to ask it correctly if I don't myself understand the true context.
Okay.
So can you take that analogy out of her own mind and answer it for her so she understands?
Being differentiated, having a vague recollection of the moment of differentiation from source.
Understood. So different lifetimes, different connections. Does she have an Olympian connection?
Yes.
What is that connection? Did she play another big role during that time?
I see she is with Zeus, and Zeus loves her.
When you say Zeus, can we use the other name Enlil?
You can use whatever name you like.
So are we referring to the Anunnaki group when you
Yeah.
say Zeus? So was she Anunnaki at that time? When you say
Yes.
Olympian? What role did she play with Enlil during that time? Zeus.
A loved one. An advisor.
Was she known in history by another name?
I don't know it.
But she did play a large role with Zeus.
Yes.
Did she help parent any other gods with that relationship with Enlil?
Yes.
So you're saying she's had a lot of historical significance within these timelines, and a lot of them have been really large roles with very important players.
Yes.
Why did you want to position her specifically around other large players?
The experience.
Kind of like me, where you come from a certain kind of evolution of a soul, and you only surround yourself again with other important people for your own evolution, because hierarchically you've earned that through your soul. Is that what that means?
Yeah, yes, yes, yes.
What about an Asgardian connection?
Um, she is known to Odin. She, in a vision quest with Sean, she and Sean visited Asgard, and the experience was very interesting. The travel to Asgard, what she saw was golden clockworks as she was moving toward Asgard, arrived in Asgard, and had audience with Odin, as did Sean. And I won't speak for his experience. He's not here to, but the experience that I had was to work out an agreement to do work in Asgard, and with the this part I love, the great wisdom that Sean provided was to get legal representation, to look over the agreement, to make sure it was bulletproof, that it had every out clause that I require in case the relationship disintegrated.
Mm-hmm.
And the agreement was there's some administrative work to do there. Beyond that, I don't have awareness of what that meant. I think it's too ephemeral for me to actually understand what that meant.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt solid in the agreement that my needs, my rights were seen, taken care of, written down, and agreed to.
Is that some of the protection she comes into most of these lives, or was that just for that one Asgardian life where she really needed to protect herself?
The acceptance, the permission to even enter Asgard in that episode was granted because there had been previous DNA lineage.
Does that connect to the Anunnaki directly? Because I'm
Well,
assuming the Asgardians, they're also Anunnaki as well, because Odin would be part of the Anunnaki lineage.
there, yeah, there is. So this would just be perhaps a different vector of DNA, a DNA lineage, because this Catherine has in this body ancestral lineage to many royalty in England that claim as blood right lineage to Odin. So there is, it's all over the map, but it's everywhere. And it is a very distinct in real sense and energetic sense connection to these realms.
Does she also possess the Titan DNA?
She does.
Okay, so her possessing the Titan DNA, that means she would have probably fought the Anunnaki having that Titan DNA, because the Anunnaki fought the Titans and imprisoned them. How does that connect to her story specifically?
And again, experience. How
Was
can,
it see
how
both
can,
sides
how
kind of
can,
deal?
yes, I was just
Understood.
gonna say, how
That makes
can
her a better tactician
yes,
to understand different points of views and all views.
you put yourself on both, not just both sides, all sides of any argument.
Kind of like you got to experience good and evil sides in order to understand what everything is capable of, because not understanding one side is not evolving because you're refusing to acknowledge the other experiences.
That's right. It's not only understanding tactics, it's understanding the way beings think. Because these different beings that we're discussing are wired to think differently. And you can't be a experienced, well-versed tactician unless you are able to put yourself in that position of your perceived enemy.
It's kind of like how I infiltrated the dark side and went to the dark in order to learn their ways, in order to bring it back to the light. And that made me a better tactician, a better general, and a better leader.
Exactly.
Because I know their motivations. I know how their mind works. I know how their outposts work. I know how their structure and hierarchy works.
You know what matters to them. You get to the bottom of what really matters to somebody, then you know how they will operate, how they will attack, what their defense looks like.
Does she have a dragon aspect as well?
Oh, yes, she does. Yes, she does.
Tell us about that. Is this a root energy or just a life she lived? Kind of like my source energy, I'm a black void dragon. And I help create the physicalness, the ideas, the blueprints for the creators.
This Catherine, of all the dragons that have visited her, and she has had many, green, white. This most prominent dragon is black. This dragon is not Western dragon. This dragon is, I'm going to say it's a source dragon. It's a source dragon. I don't know what that means. That's just what comes to my mind. A source.
Can you
dragon.
scan my mind? If I give you permission?
I can try.
Would she be more like a source dragon like me? Where she exists in a non-physical realm as a non-physical dragon, and then when she embodies herself, the first major would be a literal dragon, like a Siakar. Is she
I
a
was
Siakar?
going to say Siakar.
She is a Siakar?
See a call.
So we're from the same family. The same energy source.
Makes me happy to know that.
Hmm. How do the draconians fit into this equation? We're having a lot of draconian interference.
Yes.
What's going on with them? Because they know since she's a dragon that there's an aspect of the draconians that fear her. Is that correct? Because
There
she
is.
outranks them.
I see. I just see them energetically. I don't see them in physical form, but I see them in abeyance. I see them not standing back, but they understand. They understand the line of authority, and they understand where they stand with respect to it. And they are not dragon.
Mm. If they would learn to evolve and get out of their ways, they could become a dragon. But the problem is they just want to conquer, 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 and they can't see it from a higher point of view. Some draconians have learned the truth. They've reconnected that heart chakra back
Mm-hmm.
and evolved into that dragon.
I would like to talk to them and say to them now, what stands in your way is that you have lost your creativity, is that you now steal what you have. You do not create. You have that opportunity to get back into, I can even see the vestigial heart. I can see it. I can feel it. I have full body chills because I can touch it. And the narcissistic, destructive, thief mentality, the hierarchical cruelty, the disregard, there is an opportunity for healing. There is an opportunity to come to the light. It is not necessary to steal.
How many draconians can you see in this room now for this transmission between us?
1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Is it just draconians, or are there also other beings as well?
I don't see other beings. I don't know that they're not here.
Hmm. Is there any royalty within this draconian group that's here now?
No, because this is a different group of draconian.
Are they here acting more as handlers, or are they here for more to hear about how they can evolve?
That's not an either or. They came with the intent to handle, and I think they are surprised to hear the message. It was not what they expected.
What were they expecting?
To stop this.
Hmm. Why didn't they?
I think the signature between your authority and my authority, they realized and recognized not going to happen.
Is that why they attempted to mess with me before the session? To
They
throw
thought
me off?
they thought they could, because they saw forward. They knew enough to know that we hadn't done this yet. That, let's set aside no time, but it hadn't happened yet. So we aren't as deep, we aren't as elevated in our resonance as we are now. They were desperately trying to prevent this from happening.
Did that influence kind of lose its effect when we realize that we are more powerful than them and we can literally fight them back? Like stop fearing them? Because I got to the point where I stopped fearing them 100% because one of my draconian lives, again, it's existing now, Alpha Draconian General. I know that I outrank pretty much almost all draconians in this room now.
Yeah. And well, it is like you say, but it is also signature speaks for itself.
So power knows power.
Power knows power. Power understands power. Power understands hierarchy.
Because they infiltrate a large number of my sessions and they try to derail my clients to not wake up to the truth. Because they know I typically only deal with high level players. I don't deal with a lot of regular low level people.
And they understand that.
Because it's dangerous to awaken them to this truth.
They cannot stand that about you.
Mm.
But they also cannot change the fact of who you are.
Yeah, because now I'm empowered to literally fight them and remove them from existence when they try to mess with me, because I stepped into that power. I remembered how powerful I was, and I'm not just knowing that, I'm living it. I'm living that power. I am literally goosebumped right now because it got to the point where I realized they are below me.
Yes.
Literally in rank.
Yes.
So they're not even really truly authorized to mess with me. And if they keep doing it, I will set all kinds of timelines in play that will remove them from existence, and I will hurt them in ways they never saw coming.
And
I walk the walk. They know I walk the walk.
Well, from looking into that psychically, I can see you have followed through on any and every threat, and they know that, they see that. What they see, though, is the combination of the two of us, and this they did not see coming, was this moment where their eyes are opened to the potential for change. I'm not saying they're going to take us up on this. That's up to them. But they did not vibrate at a level that this is what they could not see this happening.
But do they, to all the draconians in the room, do you not see that we wish you to evolve? We wish you to join the ranks of the dragons in the higher realms. But the problem is, if you keep doing what you're doing, you will evolve yourself out of existence, because there comes a certain point where you're going to be forced into a de-evolution or having to start over again from the bottom, because there are consequences to all actions and nothing can be hidden truly from source. So this is me embracing the ones who want to wake up, who want to join the light, because that's what true power is. To live within the light and live within the goodness, and to understand that we don't have to fight each other. We don't have to sacrifice our children. We don't have to militarize our children and make them where they have no heart, because this is not sustainable long term, because it always implodes upon itself every single time, regardless of how long the draconians have existed. This is why they never conquered us fully. This is why they can't conquer us fully, because we operate in a hierarchy that is above their evolution.
Yes, and I would suggest that what we do together now is see their heart, this vestigial heart that I spoke of. Our looking with our heart into their heart, that is the kind of message that will be burned into their beings. They can take with it, do with it what they will, but the combination, you see, we're 1 + 1 = 10. Do you see their hearts?
I'm focusing on their hearts now, and I'm giving the draconians in the room an opportunity to accept the love I'm sending you now from the source light. I hit one just now. I felt their heart light up.
There you go. Oh boy.
I send this light to your heart, and I ask
Oh.
you to see the divine light that you forgot that exists within your own heart. And I want you to now activate that heart inside your heart center. And I want you to expand it. I want you to breathe it. I want you to make it bigger and bigger and bigger. This is true power. Without operating in this light, you see how weak it is. Do you see how powerful this is within inside yourself? You forgot.
How small your life is.
The light
Yes.
inside of you, you can take that small spark of light and you can enlarge it. You can make it big. I want you to, any beings willing to accept this gift now, I'm sending this light of source directly into your heart center now. And it is your choice to accept this light in your heart for your own evolution. If you do not want to evolve, cool. I will put you on my list and I will remove you. You will not handle us. You will not handle me. Either join me or you will be vanquished. I say this with love and light. This is what I'm extending to you now. You do what you want to do.
That
I just felt
is
when I
so
first saw it, I felt
powerful.
it really light up. It hit me like from the right side of my head, and my eyes were closed when it happened, and I just saw him. So that being's located to your left in front of you.
My whole body is absolute gooseblush. And so much is coming out of my hands.
Let's go and amplify that energy in your hands now. Let's expand its reach. Let's bring that up fractally out, and let's expand it to all the beings in the room, all beings that are not compatible. We remove you from this room, from this existence. All beings that want to step into this power now. Source pulls you back. Source pulls in your evolution. This is the higher evolution. This is the gate. This is the time. We will not extend any other efforts to you. This is the moment for your evolution. Step through or do not.
4 stepped back, 5 are listening.
To the 5 that are listening, if you step forward into the light, you cannot be harmed. You cannot be punished by the draconians. Whatever they're telling you now psionically, it's a lie. It's from their own fear. If you step into it, you step into realms you never imagined. And once you do, you will remember true power. So if you will honor me, I'm allowing you to transition for your own evolution. If you would like to become a dragon like us, this is the price. This is the entry fee. And like I said, this transmission, this is the only time I will allow this. The connection between me and Kat is extremely great. This is the portal. We open it to you now. And once you step in, this will help heal your bloodline and your lineage. This will help protect you and your lineage in ways you do not see coming. So if you don't have the balls to step through it, then you are truly not evolved. And then I will look forward to vanquishing you because we win no matter what. And we would love to have you as an ally versus an enemy because you are me, but you forgot that you are us and we are you. But we're choosing love to embrace each other versus reject each other, because the more you separate from source, that's why you cannot go to the next level. That's why source will not allow you to come in. That's why source will not allow the Anunnaki to evolve, because the only evolution is to step inside the heart. And I wish that for all of you. And I know you can see that. You can see me as your enemy, or you can see me as your friend. From this point on, that is up to you. And if you leave as my enemy, I promise that I will do all the things I threatened to do to you. I promise I will put you in my box. And all of you know what my box is. And you know, once you get put in my box, you cannot escape. So if you fear the draconians, you fear someone above you, I promise, fear me more, because I'm a walker, I'm not a talker.
We almost lost one, we've kept 5.
To those 5, this is your one moment to evolve your own evolution. And you can obviously observe that this is true power. And your power is waning off with us.
Now, can you see that they've taken a knee?
Thank you for submitting to this. Thank you for showing that honor. I honor the beings that are submitting, and I honor you as equal to myself. Even though you may be lower in rank, we are the same being. You just forgot that hurting me is only hurting yourself. I'm now placing a time limit on this evolution. This portal is only going to be open for the next 10 seconds. In 10 seconds, it'll be closed forever. This is your only moment for evolution. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, you better go. 1, the portal is now closed. Any beings left behind that did not step through, this is your wake-up call. This is your moment. How you treat this moment from here on, from this moment, I will keep my eye on you. I will follow your evolution. And if you try to hurt us, I promise you know what I'm going to do, and I'm going to leave it at that. So thank you for the draconians that wanted to experience the evolution. How many stepped through the portal?
5. We got 5.
Out of the group of 9?
And the ones that retreated, guess what? That message that this happened.
Yeah, they're going to spread it around.
It's going to get around.
Yeah. Because also draconians, whoever's left, you know how I've healed other beings that are here to harm me. You know I healed Mother. You know I healed the gray known as Mother. And I help her release that trauma she's carried through numerous lifetimes. And she told me that I'm the only human in existence out of all the timelines that has given you the opportunity to release the trauma within yourself, to heal yourself for your own evolution. And right now I'm sending you the memories of Mother in the session I did. So I want you guys to see that and how Mother truly evolved and what that did for the gray species. We can do that from you. Are there any other messages the Draconians want to give in this moment before we get back to answering some more questions?
I think I don't sense any more messages from them. I think that they're trying, testing out the concept of gratitude. This is what gratitude looks like. I'm going to show you.
I'm sending gratitude as well. I love you, Draconians. I send you the love you've never been given. I send you the love from Source. I now activate that heart center within you. I turn it into a pillar of light. That light is growing larger and larger. Step into this pillar or do not. If you want to experience true power and not be retaliated against, step into this beam of light. It's going to accept you, and I promise. Look into me. This is not a deception. I'm not here to trap you. I'm not here to harm you. I'm only asking you to step out of your own infinity loop that you will never escape.
3,
Join us.
2, 1.
With love.
Feel my energy retreating from them.
All right. Can we get
That's
to
awesome.
can we get back to answering some more questions?
Absolutely. That was kind of awesome.
Draconians, I thank you for
Thank you.
everyone who was here today. Thank you for not being such an asshole that you are in my sessions. And again, you said you weren't such an asshole because of our collective power between Kat and I, but thank you for listening to us. Thank you for entertaining the idea of what source light is and the possibility of escaping your own trauma. So I thank you for even thinking about it as an option. And I seal that within your light body, and I circulate that within you forever until you escape your own trauma and madness. And I connect that love to your heart to remember this conversation. This portal from Source will remain open until you pass. And if you would like to evolve, I will allow you to step inside your own heart, expand that heart energy out, step into that heart energy, and become that dragon you always wanted to be. All right, so going back to the Catherine the Great life. Let's see. I have so many notes.
Oh,
So much to see. Okay, speaking of the Catherine the Great life, do Kat and I know each other from these lifetimes? Have we served together?
in the Catherine the Great lifetime, yes,
I was in that lifetime.
you were in that lifetime.
What role did I play?
You were close confidant.
Was I an advisor?
You were an advisor.
So what I told her in the beginning before I put her under about me being an advisor or the hand of the queen. So this is consistent within my lifetimes as well. I always choose to be the advisor of a major feminine aspect of what would be considered queenship. What role did I play in her life in that lifetime as Catherine the Great specifically? Like, how did I help her as an advisor? And I knew I was in that lifetime. I knew it deeply, and you didn't mention it earlier when you were showing that to her. So I was curious. I'm like, I'm shocked that I wasn't in that life. I was beyond shocked.
You were there. For Catherine the Great, there was a differentiation between advisors who were lovers and then long-term advisors who were not romantically involved. And I see you as one of the long-term advisors.
What did I teach her in that lifetime?
Well, I'm just, it's, diplomacy.
Mhm.
You had great skill in understanding the other regions of the European countries, their concerns. So politics, really. Very adept. And trusted for that advice and counsel. I'm trying to see if there's any military aspect to it. Yes, perfunctory, because I think that that was part of any man's experience. But this is really the most valuable role that you played was close advisor.
That honors me to know this truth, and I knew it. I knew it when I met her. I knew it when I found out that she could have been possibly the original Catherine the Great as well. Are you saying that the Catherine the Great life, this was an actual lifetime her soul lived, and this is not an imprint?
This is not an imprint.
So to the people around the world that's listening to this transmission now, even the ones hitting this in replay, many beings have claimed that they are the original Catherine the Great. They are the original Jesus. But what most people don't know is a lot of those beings are imprints. I was describing what an imprint is to Kat before I put under it. An imprint is you checking out the Akashic record book of that being, you pulling it and downloading it into your light body to understand the lessons and abilities in order to make your mission succeed. Because unless you live that type of lifetime, you never would have attained the awareness, the philosophy, the doctrine of that being. So I just want everyone to know that we are confirming that this is the original Catherine the Great, and that this is not an imprint life. And we're also confirming that I have been a major advisor and a hand to a lot of the major queens that has existed in our history. And I chose this role because I didn't need to lead at the highest level, because I've done that in other universes. I was here to help fix the divine feminine. And in order to do that, I had to bring that masculine role and help the queens, the empresses, understand that male archetype, that male dominance, to help her become a better, to help her soul evolve into a higher evolution. Yes?
Yes, and these are roles we've played for each other.
How many lifetimes have Kat and I interacted with each other in these kind of major responsibility roles?
And immediately I got 7.
7. Were these roles really important roles throughout history?
Most of them, yes.
Was this to help establish the record for how things on these planets were getting out of control, and it was us coming in to fix what got messed up?
Bottom line, correcting imbalance.
And that's what her and I our root energies are. We come to correct what got out of control.
Correct.
We are that balance of duality.
We are. By virtue of the original emanation of our souls. I think we agreed to this. So,
She also has a past life memory of her being Emperor
Trajan.
Could you tell us about that emperor? And was that one of her actual lived lives?
Absolutely a lived life.
And this was around AD 93 to about 117?
The reign of the Emperor Trajan was, it, of approximately AD 97 to 116, 117, whereupon he died. He died, and then that role was transferred to his adopted son, Hadrian.
Hmm. So in that lifetime, was she a general that was basically elected by the Senate to become the emperor? Is that how it actually happened?
That's how it happened. His family was originally from Iberica, or what is modern day Spain. But that was all Roman territory. Father was in the military, and so that was only natural. Rose in rank by merit.
Mhm.
It wasn't just because his father was high rank, and led many campaigns in Germanica. And I do have memory of being on campaign, being in tents. I can see the tables, the maps, the strategic planning, being a general, listening to my officers pose tactical suggestions, recommendations, and knowing that I have to listen to each and every one of them as if their recommendations hold equal merit, but I already know what I'm going to do.
Mm.
I've already decided, but this is how you have to conduct yourself as a leader. And I have memories of being in battle and actually feeling arrows in Germanica, feeling arrows slinging by my head, knowing I will not be dying today. Just having that sense, that powerful sense of presence and power. This is a powerful physical body. And then coming after successes in that area, coming back to Rome. Rome was never a favorite place to be. All I wanted to be was out with my soldiers, out in camp, walking camp, walking past my soldiers, knowing I don't speak directly with them, but they must see me.
And there's a level of respect there.
That's absolute, but I know that they need to see me in order to maintain the discipline. Going back to Rome, being in the Senate, I know I can feel the day of the vote to choose the new emperor, and thinking, shit, yes, I have to do this, but I really would just rather be out on campaign. It's what a soldier does.
It's kind of like that's why I accept the rank of commander and I don't take a desk job being some five-star general that doesn't put boots on the ground and they're only advising from a position not in war.
This is a position, there isn't.
Because I'm a soldier, I need to be boots on the ground. I need to be leading people.
Then you understand it. There is no real movement in this. I remember being in the forum, and after, for having to hold the kinds of things that went on in the forum, the fights, the animals, it made me nauseated.
What you would
To
consider
watch
the
this.
modern Colosseum?
The Colosseum, yes,
Yeah.
it's not the Forum, you're right, the Colosseum, thank you. The Colosseum, and it was nauseating. There was no honor in it, really, not a soldier's honor. Yes, there was great fighting, great spectacle,
It was also for slavery.
but it was, yes.
I was unfortunately one of those fighters in the Colosseum myself.
No? Did you make it? Or were you cut down?
I don't remember. I know that I was a big player. I knew that people worshipped me as a killer,
Mm-hmm.
but it was something I had to do because I was a slave myself.
Right.
So it's something I never enjoyed. So when I returned to Rome in this lifetime, I actually took a piece of the Colosseum with me back to remember the blood that I shed, to remember the people that I lost, to remember the family that I lost there. And this is one of the reasons why I'm here to dismember those kinds of structures where we use trauma to entertain people. Kind of like how the Spanish have the matadors killing the bulls. There's no difference between me being in the Colosseum fighting for my life and me being that bull that gets massacred.
That's right.
Because that bull is me. That bull is the light inside myself, and the light inside that bull is the same. And this is what we're here to do. We're here to show people that this stuff can't be allowed anymore.
That's right. And this life was fairly long. It ended, from Trajan's perspective, thankfully, out on campaign in the eastern reaches of the empire. Again, a stroke.
Mm. Why does she keep experiencing the stroke specifically? Is that more of a what you would consider a QHHT escalation, or is that something that was unnatural? Because she was living her life out of alignment, or his life when he was.
It had gotten out. It had gotten out of alignment. I think it was an exit strategy for when things went out of balance, out of alignment.
So even as Catherine the Great, in the end, she knew that she was no longer in control, and she was just ready to leave, and that's why her
There's
deaths
a
happened so
parallel.
fast.
There is a parallel.
So that was her choosing herself on a higher level to just,
Yeah,
it's time.
an exit.
Go ahead.
But I was gonna say, I do remember leaving that body, the Trajan body, hovering over the body, looking down upon it, looking at the friends that were friends, colleagues, friends that were around at the time, and thinking how much I would miss them. But then it drifts into mist after that.
Mm.
There, it was a very powerful life, left a great impact.
It's an honor to live the kind of lives where we can have that position of power and authority, and we do what's right within it, and we do it for the evolution of everyone else, and we use it and we take that burden to lead, because it's a big burden. Everybody wants to be the ruler of their own planets and their own stuff, but once you get down to it, just like you said, you have no life for yourself. It's nothing but formality, overseeing the court, overseeing contracts, and like you never get to experience life yourself.
Correct.
Because you're always being watched. You have no privacy.
That's right.
So once you live that life so many times, you're like, damn, like that was cool, but like I'll do it again as part of what I signed up for, but crap, that is a sucky, lonely life.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's hard to connect with anybody because everybody has a motivation, they want something from you. So it's hard to find a true soul that loves you for you, that don't want anything but your love. And that's what we find in high positions of power. There's a lot of usurpers. There's a lot of people who want our light. And they come in as lovey and they come in as wanting to help us, but it's all about deception. Not everyone, but like,
I would use the word agenda.
yeah, there's always an agenda. Sucks. So you were speaking about how you died in that life. Can we get into her husband in this current lifetime?
Yes.
Why did he choose to leave in September of 17? What was the purpose of the amyloidosis?
Yes.
I've never heard that word before, so I'm just understanding. I'm probably not saying it right, but
Yeah, very close, very close.
How do you say it?
Amyloidosis.
Amyloidosis. What specific kind of cancer in that, and why did he have to have it?
Well, the cancer was multiple myeloma. In rare instances, it triggers and provokes a comorbid disease, amyloidosis. It's very rare. People with multiple myeloma can live some healthy years with treatment and can go in and out of remission. But what I see is that the amyloidosis was the nail in the coffin. There was going to be no reprieve from this. It was a final decision, a final out. What we can figure is what participation my husband had in that event, that departure, or if it was part of a plan, a handled plan by others.
How do we know the source of that? How do we know what truly happened to him?
We have to talk to his higher self.
Would you like me to bring him in to talk to you right now so we can
Yes.
find out? Tell me his name.
Matthew.
Matthew.